Next lot of questions are to the Director-General. And Director-General, I'll refer you to SDS page 3, particularly around staffing and resourcing. Director-General, how many ministerial directives concerning child safety performance have you received from your minister since January 2015?
Thank the member for the question. I'm not sure actually what you're referring to.
I'll move on so that I make it more clear for you, Director-General. Last year at estimates, the Minister informed this committee that she had directed you on the 28th of October 2015 to improve declining performance measures in child safety. Was this directive ever formalised in writing by the Minister to you? And if yes, could you provide the documentation?
I thank the member for the question. I can confirm the Minister indeed spoke to me about the importance of improving our performance in relation to investigation and assessments, and indeed that's exactly what has happened. I'm very pleased to brief the committee on the work that's been done.
Sorry, the question was, did the Minister formalise that directive to you in writing? It's just a yes or a no.
I can confirm that there was a direction.
Thank you, but not necessarily in writing. I'm happy for you to take it on, if the Minister would like to take it on notice, to provide the committee with that directive in writing.
I'm happy again to confirm that the Minister gave me a direction and that has been acted on.
Thank you. I'll move on. The Minister also stated last year that she was not briefed specifically about the Caboolture Child Safety Service Centre, but in an email obtained by RTI from the opposition dated 13th of October 2015 to you from Cathy Taylor, your then Deputy Director-General, it was noted, and I quote, "PS, the region with the lowest change in intakes is the NC." And whilst you're aware of this RTI, I do seek leave to table the document for the benefit of the committee.
Is leave granted?
Thank you. Given the history, Director-General, associated with Caboolture and previous CMC investigations into that centre, did you clarify for the Minister that NC stood for the North Coast region, which included Caboolture?
Thank the member for the question. Of course, I don't have access to the information that the members referred to. Of course, we continually monitor performance of all of our regions and service centres, and I don't recall a specific instance. What I can advise is that we took action when we saw pressure emerging in regions and service centres. So the Caboolture Child Safety Service Centre has 5 more staff now than it had 2 years ago.
Great, thank you. Can you confirm the title of your internal implementation board that is oversighting the child and family reforms?
Thank the member for the question. The internal board that oversees the child and family reforms is referred to as the Child and Family Performance and Reform Program Board.
Child and, sorry?
Child and Family Performance and Reform Program Board.
Thank you. Following on from the October 28, 2015 ministerial directive the Minister stated you were given, did you immediately bring this critical directive to the board's attention?
I can confirm for the member that I acted on the direction from the Minister, and initiatives were put in place to improve performance, which you can see from the data. Yeah,
but the question was, Director-General, did you bring that to the board's attention? So yes or a no?
I did bring it to the attention of the chair of the board.
Thank you. If, as you say, there has been a directive given to you by the Minister, then one would assume that it would appear as an agenda item on the minutes of the very next meeting following the 28th of October 2015. Is this correct, and are you able to provide evidence of this, which I'm also happy to take on notice?
I thank the member for the question. The performance of our child safety service system is a regular item on the agenda of the Child and Family Performance and Reform Program Board. And I'm very happy to speak to the initiatives that were taken as a result of the implementation of that direction. So,
Director-General, I'm sorry. The question. I
have been asked about the implementation.
No, I asked you specifically about the agenda, whether it appeared on as an agenda item, this crucial directive that you were given and whether you can provide the minutes. I'm happy for you to talk about other issues when I get to those questions, but I have a series of questions in relation to this.
Well, I'll have to take that on notice because I don't have the access to the minutes here with me, of course.
Is the Minister happy to take that on notice? Thank you. Okay, if indeed, Director General, you were given a ministerial directive, how is it that 8 months after being given this directive, which was to reduce...
Sorry, there's a point of order, Member for Madrabar, but if it's in relation to the question containing an inference, then I am already about to rule on that. Can you please rephrase?
Okay, that's fine, I can rephrase.
Yep.
This ministerial directive, Director General, how is it that 8 months after being given this directive, which was to reduce child safety response times and improve performance data, that Mason Jett Lee was never seen and subsequently died?
I thank the member for the question. What I can indicate again is that measures were put in place to improve the performance of child safety service centres across all regions. And indeed, the Minister has referred to the announcement of the additional staff in September, October, to enable us to target areas of increased pressure and increased demand.
Thank you.
So that included the creation of an additional regional director position in Moreton Bay District because of the demand and the complexity we were seeing. The allocation of a senior caseworker with specialist domestic and family violence knowledge to the Caboolture Child Safety Service Centre. The outposting of a disability support services officer, again because of the number of families that we were dealing with where there was a child with disability. Attention to the support and assistance with the scan processes to make sure that they were giving effective cross-agency attention and action in relation to complex matters.
Thank you.
Improvement of the leadership and case supervision for that Child Safety Service Centre. So there are a number of the actions that arose from our effort to increase the performance of our child safety service centres.
Thank you, Director General. I refer to a recent RTI which you and the Minister would obviously be aware of, and I seek leave to table a copy of this for the benefit of the committee.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. DG, as you said, you were issued a ministerial directive to improve investigation response timeframes in October 2015, as the Minister stated. Why is it that the Acting Regional Executive Director of the North Coast Region on the 15th of August 2016, almost a full year later, had to plead for immediate frontline support and, I quote, "The pressure is starting to show"?
I thank the member for the question. I've already referred to the initiatives that were instigated well before that, and of course that region in particular, as other regions have, as the Minister has referred to what we're seeing with the impact of ICE, has seen increasing demand on our child safety service centres. And of course...
It's taken 12 months.
No.
And in the meantime, Mason died.
Member for Madrabar, allow the Director General to be heard, please, without interruption.
It didn't work, did they?
Thank you, Chair. So there have been actions put in place at a system level and at a regional level and a local level from October 2015 as we continuously refer to and monitor the performance of the child safety service system. Again, I refer to the additional staff that have been deployed in 16-17 to our child safety service and to the government's announcement. We will continue to improve. We want to continue to improve the performance of our child safety service system. Our staff do a fantastic job, and where there are pressures and where we need to respond, we'll do so.
And if I could just add, Chair, certainly what doesn't help pressure at a service centre level is cuts to staff. And 55...
Get out of here. Point of relevance.
Sorry, point of order, Member for Gaven.
That's just an opportunity for a cheap shot.
There's no point of order, Member for Gaven. Okay, next question from
I do have another question. Again, Director-General, the time frame does not make sense. In October 2015, you were alerted that there were problems, really severe problems, and I think in Matthew Luffy's email he mentioned 66.6%, the devil's number. 12 months later, 3 months after Mason Jett Lee had already died, there were no additional resources put into Caboolture because otherwise the RED wouldn't have been pleading in that email that you have in front of you for more frontline services.
I thank the member for the question. I do recall being asked a similar question a year ago, and as I do recall indicating at the time, and I'm happy to reiterate, there were additional positions put into Caboolture going back well before the death of Mason Jett Lee, and there have been further.
Why is your RD still asking?
There have been further positions put into Caboolture, and I'm really pleased and looking forward to the opening of a new Child Safety Service Centre in the Moreton Bay region. We're creating the Moray Field Child Safety Service Centre, and an additional 13 positions have been funded by government. So we will continue to put the additional staff where we need them to deal with the pressure and the complexity of what we're seeing in demand coming through to the Child Safety Service system.
Thank you. My next question is to the Minister. Minister, during last year's estimates, you referred to a visit you made to the Caboolture Child Safety Service Centre on Monday, 25th of July 2016, following the death of Mason Jett Lee, and you said, and I quote, "To talk with staff, I am always listening and acting on what our hard-working, dedicated frontline staff tell me." Only 3 weeks after you visited Caboolture, the Regional Executive Director had to come begging for more frontline support from this office as the pressure was showing, and I quote, "Minister, why did you not see this when you visited, and what confidence does this give Queenslanders that you actually understand the pressures of the staff and how to address them before a crisis mounts?"